Now, this right here, I really want to talk about this because I don't talk about my service a lot, and it's a very, very integrated part of my story. So, like, you guys can read the comment, but hear me out. I know that, especially right now, with the climate of how the world is, especially the U.S., there's a lot of people that are against like the government and war, all of that stuff. Okay, but post 9/11, so 2001, that was not the case. And when I joined the military in 2008, there was still a very, very high like trajectory and perspective of like patriotism in our country. Um, we weren't as we weren't as like against the military as we are now. However, post Vietnam, there has been less trust in the government and in the military. Vietnam, Watergate, all those things. But post 9/11, patriotism started to rise again. Common enemy, common threat, right? That's just conditioning, advertisement, whatever. We were all on board. Everybody was on board. And for me, I found myself homeless, and I wasn't involved in the streets, but the streets were always around me. I remember the day I decided, I think that this was the day before I joined. So the day before I joined the military, I was coming back home after walking home. I think I walked like 3 hours because I didn't have bus fare. And it's 6 p.m. and now it's 10 p.m. And these guys jump out of a gangway, one with a pistol. And they're both like, hey, you know what this is? We're robbing you. Put my hands up, tell them I don't have anything. They force me against a set of stairs, gun to the back of my head. And they are robbing me. They are taking things from me or trying to find if I have anything. And one of the guys tells the other guy, oh, well, he doesn't have anything, so let's grape him. This is out in the open. I'm on a set of stairs. They want to grape me in on the street, right there in front of everybody, right? And the other one's like, what is wrong with you? We don't do that type of stuff. I was so relieved. So then they take me, and these guys knew who I was or my family was, and they forced me to, at gunpoint, open the door to our home, and they're trying to rob us, ransack us. My brother's home sleep. So it was my room, my brother's room, a bathroom, then my parents' room. I think a laundry room, then my parents' room. Either way, I knew that the first room that they were going to go into was my room. So I had at least a minute to figure out what I was going to do once I opened the door. I positioned myself towards a refrigerator. On the side of the refrigerator was a knife block. Obviously, they wouldn't have known that, but I did. I edged for the knife. The guy who had me at gunpoint ends up pistol whipping me, and then I felt him reaching for a knife, and my brain processed at that moment, if he has a gun and he's reaching for a knife, he probably doesn't have bullets, and I'm not going to let him stab me, and I don't want this other guy to get too far into the house because he would get to my brother's room, potentially hurt him, or get to my parents' room, potentially hurt them. So I decided to fight. I fought these guys tooth and nail, doing everything I could to make sure that they would not hurt my family. And that was the lowest point I've ever felt. I felt so helpless and hopeless. And there wasn't anyone that was coming to save us. That's what the realization was. It's like, hey, in the moment of uncertainty, you can only count and depend on yourself. And the next day I enlisted into the military because I knew, like, hey, if I don't do this, I am going to join the streets to find these guys and hurt them and scare them the way that they hurt and scared me. Or I'm going to take this newfound desire to be a protector and do it in the most productive way that I see fit in the year of 2008. And that was to be patriotic to my country. So if that is the reason why people don't want to be bothered with me and Attack the Sound and whatever we do because I joined, because I voluntarily got involved with the War Machine for 12 years. Because once I got into the military, I actually thrived at it. I was a knucklehead, but I knew what I was talking about. So it was kind of hard to like tell me no and to not be accessing stuff because I just was kind of like, hey, I read the regulations. I know how this works. I want to be here, so you're not gonna pull one over on me. And I went all the way to becoming a drill sergeant, all of that. So, but if that's the reason why someone has to wish me luck and prosperity and everything I do with my music, fine, I accept that. Because my reason and my why is greater than your animosity and adversity for the administration and the climate of of our government right now. That's how you feel about it right now. I'm not in the military. I'm far removed from it. I got out in 2020. It's 2026, 6 years removed. I haven't worn that uniform, any of that stuff. I don't do any of that stuff anymore, you know? But if the fact that I was even involved is a reason for you to not want to be involved or support me, by all means, that's your choice. You have that freedom to choose. That's what these platforms are for you to be able to choose what you think is right for you, right? But I also get to speak about it because I think that it's kind of like you were interested as long as I fit the box that you put me in, and you don't even know me, right? So as long as I fit the box that you put me in, and you don't even know me, we're cool. As soon as I didn't fit that box anymore, see you later, dog. Wish you the best. Okay. Door goes both ways, but it's still open on this side. It's still unlocked. You can come back whenever you want. But just know, like, that is my story. That is my truth. And I'm never gonna feel bad about that ever.